stress is a killer. There's so many times where you work out and you've got a stressful workout, you've got stress at work, you've got stress at home, and your body just doesn't have time to relax or have a downtime. Stress is a killer.
It really is, Liz. We actually now know that almost 65% of diseases have root causes in stress, which is why it is not just a nice to be taking care of ourselves, to be proactive in terms of self-care, right? This is not a spa once a year with girlfriends, which is lovely.
Yeah, who doesn't want that?
But from a day-to-day standpoint, really building so much more resilience to stress because it is at a root causes mental, emotional, and physical disease.
So, I believe it's never too late to save and prepare for one's future. And this is like the perfect segue to that. How do you do that for when it comes to your health?
So many people think, and this is because there are many myths out there about health and aging. And let's face it, we live in an ageist society. So a lot of people believe that with age comes decay and that essentially it's too late. And the science is very clear. We can reverse back any type of lifestyle disease from our 50s, 60s, 70s, and even our 80s.
How do you do that?
Lifestyle choices that are simple. Healthy diet. It's a lot of things that we've heard before. Being more active, moving more, healthier relationships.
Yes, that's important.
Yes, for women, sleep. This is one of the number one thing I see in my practice. Sleep issues. Menopause throws a bit of a curveball. For some mundane, for some very difficult. Sleep takes a toll. So sleep is your number one offensive tool in order to be able to manage stress more properly.
So a lot of women that watch the show and are part of a community, what do you suggest to them to be proactive? Like you talk about sleep, and I can tell you I struggle with sleep every night. I'm up at 1:15, 2:15, 3:15. The brain just never stops, especially when you're juggling a lot of things, whether it's work, whether it's personal, your parents, whatever it is. How do you deal with that?
It really comes down, no differently than finance again, to have a plan. Right? We absolutely need a plan that will support our efforts, which will help us prioritize the sleep, prioritize some habits that support good sleep, that changes the diet, that supports a busy career and potentially, taking care of parents or still some kids at home.
Right.
Being able to really have a plan that will support you with all of your obligations. What happens is that you become last, usually, in the list of the priorities, right? So we make sure that you get back on the agenda on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis.
That's very important. And it's hard to do as well, because if you talk about finance, there's a lot of people in debt, but they don't want to work with budgets. They don't want to start looking at their debt. Everybody wants to download an app, and the app will do everything for them. And I think it's the same thing with your health as well. People think that if they just Google it and read it, it'll happen. But everything is a lot of work in life.
My nemesis, Dr. Google. There's lots of good information on Google, but it doesn't mean that it's the right type of information for you. Absolutely. There is no magic pill when it comes to being healthy and being proactive with our health. And I really talk about here, we need to take agency. We absolutely must, because in the long run, we're the ones who are going to be left holding the baton.
Right.
On our own.
Right.
Widowhood is a real thing. We over-index men 4-to-1.
Yes.
Right? From the age of 59, pardon me. So this is really important. We are going to be there on our own. So making sure that we're having the right type of information. And it doesn't have to be completely changing one's life in an instant, right? A lot of small changes can be effective and lead to big changes.
You know what? And that's important. When we come back, we're going to talk about small changes and what a lot of women can do to help get themselves back on track and back to where they should be so that they have a lot of energy and they can sleep and really take care of themselves. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else.